We will not live by your commandments. We're free.
There is no freedom without the law.
When you think about it, the Ten Commandments can seem kind of strange. I mean, how bad does the people need to be for God to have to step in and say, adultery is bad and you shouldn't covet your neighbor's wife? It seems pretty much common sense that people shouldn't be committing adultery. I mean, we live in a pretty morally corrupt world today, and even we recognize that cheating on somebody is a big no-no. So the question we asked this weekend was, why? We know that after the fall, Adam and Eve hid themselves because they were naked and ashamed. Since then, we as a race have struggled with the tendency to sin called concupiscence. And in particular, we seem to really struggle with the sins of the flesh, the sins we call lust. I mean, even after the commandments were issued, we still had major problems following them. The biggest example of somebody breaking the 6th and the 9th commandments is found in the story of King David and Bathsheba, and King David was anointed and chosen by God himself. And in today's world, post-sexual revolution, we have a very distorted view of ourselves, of each other, and of our sexuality. But if we remember what we talked about in earlier episodes, and of what Charlton Heston reminded us at the beginning of this episode, there is no freedom apart from the law. Remember, the freedom isn't about doing whatever you want. The freedom is about choosing the good and doing what you can to move towards God. The ability to master our own desires, the ability to master our rebellious flesh, is found in the virtues of temperance and chastity. So in the Old Testament, we get a lot of rules telling us what not to do. But when Christ comes in the New Testament, he bridges the gap and talks about the law of our hearts. In Matthew 5:27-30, Christ teaches, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body thrown into Gehenna. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. It is better for you to lose one of your members than to have your whole body go into Gehenna." So we learn that we have to take control of our own minds and point them toward God and not even entertain thoughts of sin. Elizabeth Queen delivered another fantastic proclaim that challenged us to live these commandments by striving to follow the teachings of Christ and seeking to be pure of heart. And we could strive to be pure of heart by seeking to be pure in our mind, in our speech, in our actions, and in our appearance. How we think, how we talk, how we dress, and how we act can all give signals that tell people who we are. Ultimately, it's the small decisions we make now, how we decide to act now, that will prepare us for continuing to live in truth and freedom in the future. So thank you for watching. We hope to see you for this week's Life Teen for the Teen Takeover and Carnival, and next week we'll be going on retreat, so keep us in your prayers.